Not Andrea. Prologue. Now, I've come into my own as a woman of letters. I am a committed feminist, of course. I admit to a cool, elegant intellect with a clear superiority over the ape-like men who write. I don't wear silk, of course. I am icy and formal, even alone, by myself, a discipline of identity and identification. I do not wear myself out with mistaken resistance, denunciation, foolhardy anguish. I feel, of course. I feel the pain, the sorrow, the lack of freedom. I feel with a certain hard elegance. I am admired for it. The control, the reserve, the ability to make the fine point, the subtle point. I avoid the obvious. I have a certain intellectual elegance, a certain refinement of the mind. There is nothing wrong with civilized thought. It is necessary. I believe in it, and I do have the courage of my convictions. One need not raise one's voice. I am formal and careful, yes, but with a real power in my style, if I do say so myself. I am not, as a writer or a human being, insipid or bland, and I have not sold out, even though I have manners and limits. And I am not poor, of course. Why should I be? I don't have the stink on me that some of the others have. I am able to say it. I am not effete. I am their sister and their friend. I do not disavow them. I am committed. I write checks and sign petitions. I lend my name. I write books with a strong narrative line in clear, detailed, descriptive prose in the 19th century tradition of storytelling. Intellectually coherent, nearly realistic, not sentimental, but yes, with sex and romance and women who do something, achieve something. Strong women. I am committed. I do care. And I am the one to contend with, if the truth be told, because my mind is clear and cool, and my prose is exceedingly skillful, if sometimes a trifle too baroque. Every style has its dangers. I am not reckless or accusatory. I consider freedom. I look at it from many angles. I value it. I think about it. I found this absolutely stunning passage from Sartre that I want to use, and I copy it out slowly to savor it, because it is cogent and meaningful, with an intellectual richness, a moral subtlety. You don't have to shout to tell the truth. You can think. You have a responsibility to think. My wild sisters revel in being wretched, and they do not think. Sartre is writing about the French under the German occupation. Well, French intellectuals, really. And he says, "We were never as free as under the German occupation. We had lost all our rights, and first of all the right to speak. We were insulted every day, and had to keep silent, and everywhere on the walls, the papers, the movie screen, we were made to confront the ugly mug that our oppressor presented to us as our own. But this is precisely why we were free. As the German poison seeped into our minds, every thought we had was a real conquest. An omnipotent police kept forcing silence upon us. Every word we uttered had the value of a declaration of rights. As we were constantly watched, every gesture we made was a commitment." This is moral eloquence in the mouth of a man. This applies to the situation of women. This is a beautiful truth, beautifully expressed. Every just thought is a real conquest for women under the rule of men. They don't know how hard it is to be kind. Our oppressor puts his version of us everywhere, on walls, in the papers, on the movie screens. Like a poison gas, it seeps in. Every word we utter is a declaration of our rights. Every gesture is a commitment. I make gestures. I experience this subtle freedom. This freedom based on nuance, a freedom grotesquely negated by a vulgar, reckless shout, however sincere. He didn't know that the Jews were being exterminated, perhaps, not then. Of course, yes, he did know that they had been deported from France, yes, and when he published these words much later, in 1949, he did know. But one must be true to one's original insights, one's true experiences, the glimpses one has of freedom. There is a certain pride one takes in seeing something so fine, so subtle, and saying it so well. And of course, one cannot excessively revise backwards. His point about freedom is elegant. He too suffered during the war. It is not a cheap point. And it is true that, for us too, every word is a declaration of rights, every gesture a commitment. This is beautifully put, strongly put. As a woman of letters, I fight for my kind, for women, for freedom. The brazen scream distracts. The wild harridans are not persuasive. I write Outside's passage with appreciation and excitement. The analogy to the condition of women is dramatic, and at the same time nuanced. I will not shout. This is not the ovens. We are not the Jews, or to be precise, the Jews in certain parts of Europe at a certain time. We are not being pushed into the ovens, dragged in, cajoled in, seduced in, threatened in. It is not us in the ovens. Such hyperbole helps no one. I like the way Sartre puts it, though the irony seems unintended. We were never as free as under the German occupation. Actually, I do know that his meaning is straightforward and completely sincere. There is no irony. This embarrasses me. Perhaps I am a captive of my time. We are cursed with hindsight. We need irony, because we are in fact incapable of simple sincerity. We were never as free as under the German occupation. It gives the real significance to the gesture, something Brecht never managed, incidentally. I like the sophistication, the unexpected meaning. This is what a writer must do, to use words in subtle, unexpected ways to create intellectual surprise, real delight. I love the pedagogy of the analogy. There is a mutability of meaning, an intellectual elasticity that avoids the rigidity of ideology and still instructs the meaning of freedom. It warns us not to be simple-minded. We were never as free as under the German occupation. Glorious, really superb, restrained, elegant, true in the highest sense. De Beauvoir was my feminist ideal. An era died with her, an era of civilized coupling. She was a civilized woman with a civilized militance that recognized the rightful constraints of loyalty and, of course, love. I am tired of the bellicose fools.